Talk a little about Broussard. It looked like he.
Yeah, I think he's just got a sore knee. We tried to put him back out there and do some stuff with him today, and I think he's just got a little sore.
So it's a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think, and same thing with Jeff Copperidge. I don't think there's much. I think he's got sprained his foot a little bit. I don't think it's anything serious at all. So we'll see. I don't anticipate it being anything, but we'll see.
You've been going back and forth between good days for the offense and good days for the defense. What did you think about today?
Well, the last 2 days I thought the defense really kind of got after the offense, and then today, the offense made some big plays. Turned the ball over twice, but they made some big plays, and it has a tendency to happen when you got to tackle, and that's why we're trying to get a lot of live tackling. We just got to improve that, and there were some good things out there. Still, a lot of opportunities to get better and make more plays. Offensively, we missed a couple of, had a couple of drops for touchdowns and missed a couple of easy throws and that kind of stuff, but it was good to see, a couple of big plays and some guys do some things with the football after they caught it. And so, it was progress.
Talk a little bit about Jordan Rigsby. Looks like he got out there with the rump ones at right tackle.
Yeah, he's working in there. We're bouncing him around between guard and tackle and trying to, we rested Stephen Moore a little bit today. And so, the good thing about Jordan, he's played everywhere. He's kind of our utility guy. He can play center, and he can play guard, he can play tackle, he can kind of, bounce around where we need him to bounce around. The thing is we'd like to leave him someplace and let him develop, but right now, he's pretty valuable being able to do that. And so, we'll kind of keep bouncing him around and see where he settles in and kind of what ends up happening with those spots.
Darius still not able to get out there, huh?
No, he will. He could have practiced today probably. We just want to bring him along slow.
How much is that hurting you at corner not to know what he can do? And because that's a spot you really wanted to kind of get solidified.
Yeah. We need for him to start getting in the mix. The good thing about corner is the guy can, play that position pretty quickly, pick it up and everything. So he'll get a little bit more. He'll probably do individual and stuff tomorrow. And I don't know how much contact he's going to get prior to Northwestern. That's something we'll see as he continues to progress, but I would anticipate him doing a little bit more every day.
Right now it's Walker and Dozier pretty much?
Yeah, and Allensworth's working in there depending on if we're nickel or not nickel. It just depends on whether or not we got 4 or 5 defensive backs on the field.
And if you're playing nickel, would you move McClure into that spot and play Avery and
potentially, yeah. It depends on what happens with Avery, and how many days he can practice and getting reps and all that kind of stuff. So
how's he coming along?
He's better. He's better. I think he's feeling better than he has. We're just kind of the same boat with him. You don't want to just throw him in there and re-aggravate it. It's more about just trying to progress him slowly so he can stay healthy. It doesn't do us a lot of good to throw a guy in the mix and blow him up and then then we lose him for another week and then so we're trying to progress some guys pretty slowly, and it's worked for most of the guys.
You talked about early on about defensive tackle that you guys kind of have a stable of guys there now. Is anyone starting to emerge, do you think? Or
well, Tony McCarry had a really good day yesterday. Trevor Kelly looks like a different guy than he did in the spring. He's lighter, he's 290 and moves so much better. Austin Clark I think has been a pleasant surprise. There's just all those guys have been pretty solid, and
Moose when he's out there is playing well.
Moose is doing some good things when he's out there. We're kind of trying to monitor his load a little bit as well, but again, it's kind of a position where we're coming in. We had a lot of question marks, and good thing is we've had some guys rise up, and David Davis has been solid, and so it's all of a sudden it's a position where we have a pretty decent 3D.
What kind of role does Austin Clark have, kind of considering that this is his 6th year?
Yeah, right now he's working his way into the rotation, and we'll see how many guys we think we can win with, and that'll become our rotation. And whether that's 5, 6, potentially 7 D tackles, that would certainly be a good problem to have is if we got to that kind of depth. And so we'll continue to see who we think gives us a chance to win, and then we'll at that point determine who the starters are. But all those guys are going to play. I think it's going to be more defensive tackle by committee than it is some guy starts a game.
Didn't look like Kyle Dame was out there.
No, he didn't report with the 105. Yeah.
You mentioned Arthur Wainwright a few times after practice. How's he doing generally, and where do you see him?
Yeah, he's kind of hit his camp legs a little bit. He's a little bit not showing up as much as he was. He was showing up early because his speed, and so now when you start to lose your legs a little bit, you got to show up a little bit more now because your technique and knowing what to do, and he's still learning that. Yeah. And so, so that's typically what happens with those kind of guys that are, you know, speed guys but a little bit inexperienced. Is they look real good early, and then they start to lose their legs a little bit, and then now they've got to rely on, you know, playing within the scheme and technique and stuff, and they're still trying to get caught up.
Does that mean he's out of the loop?
No, not at all. Not at all. No, it just means he's got to get more reps. Yeah, just got to get more reps, and he's still learning the defense. And you know, we expect him to be, you know, kind of an impact player on special teams, and hopefully he'll work his way to playing a lot on defense as well, especially in particular situations.
Is he mostly on the outside, or would you?
Yeah. No, probably play more outside. Yeah.
What did you see in him that you liked?
Just an ability to run and got good instincts, and you know, he's an explosive guy. You know, he can run, he can jump, he's athletic, he's a pretty good tackler. So there's a lot of things to like. He's just you know, got a little bit overwhelmed, I think.
Talk about Devontae Downs. When did you guys make a decision on whether, you know, we're going to see him on the field this year?
Yeah, no, he'll play. Yeah, it's already been made. He's going to play. Yeah, we'll roll with Downs for sure. I would think we would roll with. There's a bunch of freshmen that are going to play. You know, I think both the quarterbacks have a chance to play. Obviously, both running backs. Probably Noah Westerfield. You know, potentially both linebackers. You know, I would say. You know, obviously, AJ Greathouse with the possibility as well. You know, potentially doing that. So there's a bunch of young guys that'll see the field for us and hopefully give us some depth. Maybe Tartable as well.
You any closer to clarity at backup quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, you know, Luke's getting the majority of the reps, and you know, he's done a lot of good things. So, you know, we'll continue to let it play out, but he's making a move.
Is that still a deal where you could be number 2 and not play?
You know, I don't know. That's something that you know we'll have some conversations as that starts to develop. You know, if that's the way it goes. Just, you know, wanting to have as much separation potentially between Jared and Luke if he's going to be the next guy, and what's, you know, and all that stuff. But there's so much that remains to play out. And
plus, he gives you a different element.
He does. Right? He gives us a little bit of a different element, and so we'll see if that's going to be, you know, something we think gives us a little bit of a chance.
Let's go back to Devontae real quick. Can you talk about kind of where you think he's at? It seemed like from spring to fall, it's just night and day.
Yeah. He's, you know, the big thing he did is he went through spring football, and so he got to get settled in and went through spring, and then, you know, has been in the strength and conditioning program now for a long time, since January really, and you know, he's just physically he's kind of ahead of a lot of those freshmen. You know, he's a big, strong guy and has benefited from you know, from 6 months in the weight room. And then an opportunity to learn the scheme and everything as well. So, you know, he's you know, pretty good ways ahead right now of a typical freshman.
We're good.
Okay, guys.
Sonny, one more quick one.
Yep.
Jason Gibson.
Yep.
I guess I was a little unclear the last time. Did you say that he's medically retiring, or is he applying for a
No.
year?
What he's going to do is, I think he's going to medically retire. I mean, all that's still playing out. I mean, he's not going to be with us right now, and then we'll see in the future. Maybe he'll feel better, and there's a potential that, you know, he could come back and go through that process if he wants to, but probably not going to be with us this year.
Got it.